September the 22nd, 2025. Guys, it's all over the internet, and I've been getting questions about it because we cover biblical topics on this channel. And it's about the date of tomorrow, September 23rd. It's being pushed pretty much everywhere that tomorrow will be what they call the rapture. Now, it's very important for a couple reasons that people get this straight. And I know that I don't win any friends when I do these type videos. But if the Lord tells me to try to correct a very poisonous attitude out there, then I have to obey him. And he says, use the words of Christ. Don't use the words that were sent from Rome. And that's always the key, guys. Christ tells you one thing about when he will return, and then the Roman implant come in and told you something else. That's all the way through that part of the New Testament. Anyway, let's go to this section just a moment. And it says, it's a parable of tares. It says, Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. Now, guys, this is talking about the people of God, the children of God, and the tares are the children of Satan. And you can tell them by their lies. Their father is the father of lies. And some people get on that bandwagon by mistake because they're listening to things that are not the words of Christ. So anytime you hear something out of the ordinary, find what Jesus said about it. So many people will wear the bracelet or used to, what would Christ say, what would Christ do? And then they use the teachings of the Roman. And that particular Roman has just about went against everything Christ told us. If you study it hard and look at what's going on, you'll see that when a lot of people now are buying the New Testament without the words of Rome. And it's been around for a very long time. You can still get it. And it reads like honey because you don't have the conflict between Christ and the Roman there. And that's all it was. This guy was sent from Rome to kill Stephen because Stephen was going to be one of the elite 7 of the teachers that Christ was sending forward. And if not, the leader in certain groups. But he had to be taken out so they would, it's like when they killed one of the Supreme Court judges so they could get rid of him and replace it with a Democratic one. You guys remember that? Was it in Texas, I think? Anyway, same thing happened back then. Stephen had to be moved out of the way. Paul held the coats while they killed him, he said. But Paul had been in many cities. That was not a one thing event there, guys. This was happening city to city. And that's why Paul was not ever allowed into any of the 7 churches, which were all in Turkey, because the disciples back then that were running these churches knew who Paul was. Anyway, let's get to tomorrow. But it's very important because Paul, and I hate to even mention any of his scriptures because it's of the devil. He is the first Antichrist. And that's the point. That is what Christ is warning us about all through the Bible. And then it happens after Christ is gone, and people accept that. And they step over the words of Christ to get to that easy way out. And the deadly thing about tomorrow is we're going to go through here and show where it's basically impossible for that to happen. But so many people are jumping on this bandwagon. And they have very little knowledge of the real words in the Bible. They'll read a few verses and think that that's it. And most of the time when I see the conflicts, they are about Christ and Rome, the people that had him crucified. Now, the owner said, the owner's servants came to him and said, now the owner's servants, guys, basically are the angels, the reapers. And the owner is our Father in heaven. Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Well, where did these weeds come from? And when man was created on earth, they were children of God. Satan couldn't have that, so you had the events in the garden that led to that birthing of both Cain and Abel. And Cain was the first seed of the serpent, and there's about a 50-50 now ratio on the earth. Many of them are in politics, not all. They either choose politics or they become preachers. Now, but we're told that a lot of the scribes and Pharisees ran the churches too. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you to decide, but here's the danger. It's so many people are jumping on this that when it doesn't happen, and I've seen comments of watching other people's videos about this, guys, I'm not going to know what to do if this doesn't happen. I'm going to be lost. Well, see, therein lies the danger, and that is the method that Satan uses. If you're hyped up your whole spiritual life on one event that's taught and preached by Rome, you're selling your soul pretty cheaply there, and you're looking for the easy way out. Christ said, in your patience lies your salvation. In the parable of tares here, it says the same thing. You can't rush this thing. Wheat and the tares have to grow together, because if you were to, as the angels wanted to do, get the tares out of the planet, off the earth, God told them you can't do it. You have to let them grow together, because you will destroy everything if you destroy them now. But what does he say? The servant said, do you want us to go and pull them up? He said, no, because while you are pulling up the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. Now that is the day. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, the angels, first collect the weeds and tie them into bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn. Now, are you going to be taken out first? And that's what they're setting you up for. Guys, please listen. I always lose subscribers, don't get many hits on these. But if that's what, and this is a message to any of you guys that do any type of research like this, if you let that stop you, then the enemy is won. If you're saying, well, I'm going to lose hits and lose subscribers and all this, then Satan has defeated you. Stand up, shout from the rooftops, damn the torpedoes. And again, who's going first, guys? Now, who is talking, by the way? It's Jesus. And this is what Jesus is telling in this parable. It's the words of the Lord, but Jesus is telling this to the disciples. First collect these weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. What did God also say? This earth would not be flooded again. It would be destroyed by fire. First collect the weeds, tie them in the bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn. Who goes first? According to Christ and our Father in heaven, the wicked children, the tares, Satan's offspring. This is exactly what's going to happen. And but the people are going to be so disillusioned with religion that have laid all their hopes and dreams on tomorrow. They're going to turn away from it. And they're going to turn away from some of these preachers that are telling them this. Now, some are just speculating. They're just watching. But some, and guys, you type up Rapture on YouTube, is page after page of videos. And that's how it's going to be in the end times, guys. You've got to pay very close attention to it. Trust Christ over the Roman Empire, the Vatican. And guys, many use that word disillusionment, and you call it, you've lost your compass. And that way, in your religious spiritual compass, it's thrown off because you were headed in one direction so well, you thought, and when that lie is unfolded, like it will be tomorrow, you remember this video then you lose compass. In other words, you're disillusioned, you're tired of listening to false prophets and teachers, and it turns people away from the real word. And that's the point that Satan is getting to when he gets preachers to talk about the rapture. But he did that via the Roman. Matthew 24, and Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left one here, one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. And guys, this was a small group. He wasn't preaching to the masses and loaves and fishes and all this. They came to him privately. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, what shall these things be? They're wanting to know the same thing we want to know. What shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Jesus answered and said to them, take heed that no who deceives you, no man. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Now, when they're saying, I am Christ, they're also, they're preaching that they know the words of Christ, that they feel it in their dreams, in their soul. This is coming forward tomorrow and guys, they're either doing it for profit, they're doing it to deceive you. And so for all the people that are expecting that to happen tomorrow, please go back and check these verses out after the video and go through them for yourself. Again, don't trust me, I'm a man, but I've studied long enough and I've seen this lie coming for a long, long time, and many of you have too. And we are at a point in time that's very important, but it's not the one they're telling you. They should really be ashamed. And guys, don't give them too bad of a hard time when you find out it's all a lie. Everybody makes mistakes. But obviously they are not reading the Bible. Or they forget it and don't go back and reference when you see something like this happening. You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, earthquakes in divers places, many places. And we're seeing a lot of that, guys. But these are the beginning of the sorrows, Christ continues. And what does he say after this? We're going to read it. Because they're asking when they will see him. He's talked about he'll be leaving, and when will this second coming happen? And they want to know. They've been following for a long time. He's been perfectly honest with them. And this is the group that, along with Christ, kept the real words going. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Now, many people are trying to escape that, but that's the words of Christ. And he knows because it happened to him. Did he get away from it? He could have called legions of angels in our Father's army. But it was prophesied back in the day of David and many other places in the Old Testament. And there was a reason that it had to happen. A lot of people are close to that reason, but they don't quite have it. That's okay. That's a different video. Anyway, they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And that's already started. I'm not saying these things have not begun, but we are not at that point yet. You'll see. And then many shall be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. We see that worldwide right now, guys. There's protests everywhere. We saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. Many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Wow, that's definitely happening. But he that shall endure to when? Until the end shall be saved. It says that in English, but in the Greek translation it says, but he that shall endure to the end shall be kept safe. Just so you know. Now, enduring to the end is part of, in your patience lies your salvation. So the end is not here. And guys, Christ didn't say you were going anywhere. He's not saying that anywhere here. He's saying that he's coming here. So why are you wanting to fly away on a butterfly, like a butterfly? The easy way out. If Christ would have took the easy way out, where would we be now? Right? He showed where his soul, his salvation, his spirit, where that lay, because his Father was in him, and in us, but he was Emmanuel, God with us. Rome knew it. They knew they were going to have to do something to stop the rapid spread of the truth and the light. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Now, I've heard it said this morning on maybe it was a video or an article about the event yesterday, that the whole world saw it. There was over 1 million streams, and that was spreading the gospel around the world. Well, the whole world saw that. There wasn't a lot of preaching going in. There was a lot of talking and all, and this, that, and the other, but the gospel will be taught to you by who? There's people that are studying, trying to learn everything they can learn, me being one of them. But before the end comes, the 4 angels are going to seal. They're going to stop everything, the wind, everything. And they're going to seal the knowledge of our Father in our foreheads. It's not a mark of the beast in your forehead. It's the seal of our Father, and with the knowledge. That's in Revelation 7. We're going to go there in just a minute. But it says, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoever readeth, let him understand. When you see that, have you seen that? That's going to be one of the last things that happen before we see the sign of the Son of Man. We see the sign before we see Jesus, remember. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Now, why would it make a lot of sense to go on vacation to Israel right now? If you believe all of this, and there are people booking tours and everything else, very dangerous place. It'd be beautiful to see in a peacetime situation. But right now, we're not in that peaceful situation. That entire area is on fire. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Why would that be, guys? Because it's a pretty natural occurrence, unless he's talking about it on a spiritual level here. And that being said, do you know that you can be impregnated with spiritual doctrine, even false spiritual doctrine? And you can nurse it and suck it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Or you believe in words, but they're not necessarily the words in red? Are you pregnant? Have you been in bed with Satan? Are you impregnated with that doctrine? But pray you that your flight not be in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And so many people have taken the words of the Roman and used that as a getaway, a magic carpet ride to leave early. And that's what the Romans wanted you to do. They wanted you not to listen to the parable of the tares, who's taken first. Did they? No, they want to push your taken first. Trust Rome, trust Christ, it's up to you guys. Said, and except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. Or Christ said, no man knows the day, right? Only our Father in heaven, not the hour or anything, but the season. But no man knows it. So how do all these men know it now? They know more than Jesus. And that's the really sickening part of this. They claim to be preachers and teachers and tell you a lie. And I think half of them know it's a lie. Maybe they just want to get the plates full on Sunday. Anyway, behold, I've told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers. Believe it or not. Or if you wanted to say, behold, he is coming on September 24th when the tares are taken first, then believe it not also. People will study the eyes out reading Paul. and very few will go in and look at these words in red, which are not read in this printout, but they are in the Bible. They'll look at these and pass right over them. It says, "For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." The coming of the Son of Man. You're not floating anywhere. He's coming here. Why you want to leave when he's on his way? You trying to get a ride with the tails on that train? "For wheresoever the carcass is, there will be the eagles there will be gathered together." Yep. "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. First, there shall appear the sign of the Son of Man." What will that sign be? I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that are going to go on during that time. And then, why will all the earth mourn? Because they realize they've been lied to. "And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Again, you're not going anywhere. He's coming back. Why wouldn't you want to be here? "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds." Now that's, again, the angels stop everything in Revelation 7 and seal us with that seal, and that will be the final knowledge, and that's when we have been refined in the fire. He shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. "Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh." We are to know the season because of the different warnings, but the date is very important, especially when you put that date ahead of some of the things that you must see before then. What are you thinking? Again, likewise, when you see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. But there's a few things that have to happen first. "Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." The spiritual earth will be the new earth, and there will be a new earth, and there will be a new heaven. "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." So suddenly we have a boatload of preachers that don't believe this verse. Ask them what about Matthew 24, verse 36. "But that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as in the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in those days there were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also be the coming of the Son of Man." I want to move down to verse 48. I've got a couple other places I want to take you in this video. It says, "But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming." Now, guys, that's going to happen tomorrow. "And shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and eat and drink with the drunken. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of." In other words, this is what I'm talking about. The Lord, they're saying, "Oh, the Lord is delaying his coming," and so they're going to say he's not coming anytime soon, so I'm just going to start smiting my fellow servants, eat and drink, get drunk, all of that, because I just don't believe it anymore. Again, the great illusion is now a disillusionment set in place by Rome and Satan. "The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, in an hour that he is not aware of." How many times does he have to say that? And you got people saying tomorrow. Mark those people down as far as just where do they get the information, and how much other info that can you trust that they're telling you? Because it's very important to discern between Christ and Rome. "And he shall cut him asunder, and appoint his portion with the hypocrites, that shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." They said, oh, it didn't happen tomorrow, and I'm just going to forget about it. I'm disillusioned. I've lost compass with my spiritual meaning. Everything was wrong I've been taught. And the evil preacher sat back and laughed. It's funny, isn't it? Not at all when it's your soul. Let's go to Matthew 13, verse 16 a moment. It says, but blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. That's a wonderful thing. For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but do not see it, and to hear what you hear, but do not hear it. You think that's part of the problem? Could be. Listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. Do you understand that, guys? That is the disillusionment that I'm talking about. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed that was sown along the path. It didn't make it. Birds got it. And that what he's saying is, you've got to understand the truth. Don't let Rome interfere with it. Don't let the scribes and Pharisees lie to you. And it says the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. That's because you were believing a lie. And the seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth again choke the word, making it unfruitful. But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown. That's why. Because they understood the word, they believed that it was true. And how do you produce more? You spread that message. But if you're spreading a lie, that the seed is not going to grow. It's going to naturally wither. But if it's in good soil, in other words, it's in your heart, the words of Christ, then a couple of things are going to happen. You're going to be blessed, but also you're going to have a burden of spreading that word. Remember, you don't hide that light under a candle, right? And that's how you produce a crop, yielding 160 or 30 times what was sown. Even just, it doesn't matter the number. You have spread that message. The more, the better, right? And again, if I'm wrong and we get flown out of here tomorrow, or some people do, I'm not a tear, then I'll come back and do a video if there's anything left and apologize. None of those guys are going to do it. I promise you that. They're going to side talk it, sidewalk it, and sideswipe it. Everything but the truth. So they're going to hope they got a bunch of crow to eat because they're going to need it tomorrow. Not talking down on them. In a way, I guess I am, because you claim to be a man of God, you stand behind the pulpit, and you preach a lie. It's on you guys. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you got something out of it. Don't kill the messenger, okay? Read it for yourself. Don't trust me. Pull out the words and read, and you tell me when the Lord said was that day. And the only thing you can tell me is no one knows but our Father in heaven. And tell that to the preachers that are pushing this lie. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.